welcome.
It is.
Oh, I can hear myself. Hold up. There we go. We've sorted it. We're here on the Yogscast. It's just me and Petrock today, so we figured it was a great opportunity to check out.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try.
try.
Just the two of us.
Just the
Trapper
two
and
of us.
nurse.
Trapper and nurse. Oh, you know what? I'm good at the rave.
So apparently because I've been playing this bit of Survivor, apparently the super sweaty tryhard comp is Trapper and Huntress.
Really? I've not played much
Because
of her.
yeah, because like all of the killers have, if you look at the skills where you normally have the loadout, they have unique skills. And they all have one that's basically like nowhere to hide. But the Huntress gets to throw her axes like really far and really fast. And so a lot of people have been playing Trapper Huntress. So you trap people and then the Huntress just kills them from like halfway across the map.
Okay, so you can't take any add-ons or anything like that.
Correct, yeah. And then the same for the survivors. There's 4 different roles.
Okay.
I think we can probably see what the roles are as killers, but they each do different things. Like one is does gens faster, one heals faster, another gives your team like sprint boost, like a shared sprint boost around them, and then another is like a scout type of person that can reveal killer auras and whatnot.
What the hell is this? What's happening? What is all this? I don't recognize any of this.
Oh, that's
How much
that's
of
the
it has
pay to win
changed?
shop. Oh, there is,
Jesus
yeah, there are event
Christ.
things. Yeah.
Oh, slay, okay. Send 6 survivors to a cage of corruption.
Those are the hooks, the game mode hooks.
Okay. Okay. This is interesting. Alright. We ready to rock? I barely remember how to play this game. Should I switch to my other mouse and get off my MOBA mouse? Do you think?
I don't know which mouse would make you a better gamer. I would like that mouse, please.
I can't promise that, unfortunately.
Oh, shit.
Oh, sick, slay. I do have fun charms I can put on. Where's my bisexual pride? There we go.
I don't know if the charms, you can see the charms on the killers, because
they go on the
I know, normally they're on the
hooks.
hooks, but there aren't any hooks. It's like, you know, the cage for Pyramid Head? Where he'll, like, teleport you to his cage? It's like that.
That's not the slay I hope for.
Yeah, bit of a bummer. You do still see the charms on the survivors, though, because they're still up.
Slay. The way she's breathing so heavily, I genuinely feel like she needs, like, asthma medication.
Oh, dude. Talk about breathing heavy. My boy Trapper.
Oh, yeah, shit!
He is hot micing so hard.
Yeah. I don't have a single Huntress skin.
I almost have enough shards for the teddy bear Trapper skin.
Oh, I have that skin!
And I really want to buy it. I don't really play the Trapper all that much, but it's just such a goofy skin that I really want to get it. But then it'll be like all of my shards.
Oh, I love the Baba Yaga Huntress skin.
Oh yeah,
I always forget about this one. It's so good.
I like the moose one.
Oh yeah, that's good. Ooh,
Little
shit.
Red Riding Hood.
Oh, the Cold Wasteland one's really neat as well. Is this about to reignite my love for Dead by Daylight?
I've been hooked on Dead by Daylight for the last like month and a half.
Are we back? Are we so back? The thing that started this slot, Dead by Daylight? The shop looks so different. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate how they redid the like the killer and survivor thing, you know, where you select which one you want. I do not like how they did it because now you see all the ones you don't own, but it's like, what's the point of that? I don't own them.
I own well, actually no, I don't own some of the new ones.
Yeah, you probably don't have Vecna or like
Yeah, shit.
the unknown.
I did buy the unknown.
Okay, then it's probably just Vecna that you don't have.
Vecna and Lara Croft.
Yeah, yeah.
We can make it if we try, just the two of us. God damn, we are really looking for a match.
I know, it has taken a while.
Can y'all queue up as Survivor? Hello?
When I was playing last night as Survivor, the queues were super short. I don't know what's going on.
Daytime on a
And
Saturday?
it's a Saturday, too.
People are outside enjoying their life, touching grass. Excuse me?
Imagine having a brewski with the broskies when you could be killing on Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, 2v8. What the hell?
What a bunch of losers.
We could be playing video games together.
Meet me at the footbridge for some Dead by Daylight.
Do not make me put money into this game so I could glitz out my hundreds. You can make it if we try, just the two of us. Just the two of us. We have a lot of cool games we could be playing on this slot, though. We were genuinely spoiled for choice. There's a new Murky Divers update. A Day Out still has loads of maps we haven't done.
Oh yeah, we still have like half the maps left.
Yeah, we still have so many. Devour last week was really interesting. That one was insane.
Yeah. I'd be curious some of the older ones we played too, if they have any updates.
We're not going back to Genanum.
No, that's permanently retired. But what was it? Like the Quiet Place monster. In Silence. That's what it was,
In
right?
Silence. That was good fun for a stream.
Yeah. I'd be curious if there's an update for that.
Abby, thank you for 13 months! I really need the alert profile. Or at least some sort of alert profile. Just the two of
Abby,
us.
if you could hop on and load up Survivor
if
queue.
you could load up, if some of you could load up Survivor queue.
Help speed this along.
Yeah, just sort of help with this. That would be chef's kiss, please.
Now it's like the sunk cost fallacy. Like if we switch to Survivor, we're just gonna be waiting all over again.
Too many killers, not enough survivors.
99% of killers quit before their big win.
I'm already done with my peach snaps and... Sure, let me just buy the game and give me 4 hours to download it. My peach
I'm sure
schnapps
you could go get a refill.
You think? You think I could manage to make a peach schnapps refill?
You actually should go get a refill because one or two things will happen. You'll leave and will immediately find a group, or you'll leave and come back and nothing will have happened. So I see it as a win-win either way.
Okay. We got it. Have I shown you how many books I have now?
Yeah, I saw your tweet. Yeah.
It's insane. I genuinely need to seek help. For those wondering, these are all the books I have physical books that I have yet to read. And the pile keeps growing because I made the mistake of putting books on my wish list.
I mean, to be fair, I'm not one to talk because my monitor is literally held up by 2 stacks of
Oh, that's
books that I've
right!
yet to read. Well, I have read some of them. Some of them I've read, some of them I haven't, and I just sort of threw them on there to make it even. And then I have like a whole other box of books, again, some of which I've read, some of which I haven't.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm the last person to speak.
Oh, there was another game. If we genuinely struggled to get into a game, we could just play a single-player game called Clickholding. That game that Garg recommended.
Clickholding?
Yeah, it's some goofy. Oh, I overpoured that peach liqueur. My ex had an official library with over 1,000 physical books. Fuck. I'm on my way.
I don't see it.
Clickholding?
Yeah, did he put it in the chat?
Not in our chat, not in the Saturday Spook chats. It was in the general one.
Oh.
It's like click,
Oh.
and then without the H, all one word.
Yeah.
It's goofy looking as fuck.
Oh, is it one of those games where you can only communicate with like walkie-talkies and stuff, and it's a puzzle-solving thing?
No, it's some freak. Once you just keep clicking the button.
Oh.
It's sort of horror, and it is single player, but I could share screen and we can just.
I could shit
talk him.
Yeah. What is with this queue?
We're genuinely like just vibing.
Do you want to try Survivor really quick?
Sure. Yeah. Fuck it. Maybe.
I don't know why that would make it any different, but like.
How do we get into Survivor?
We just have to go back to the main menu.
Oh yeah, here we go. 400%.
Yeah, it's 400%. Is it just for the Survivor that's 400%?
Oh, I can play Michaela. Slay.
Yeah, you can play any Survivor.
Oh, I need to get the Dungeons and Dragons pack as well so I can play as an elf. Mommy.
Oh, but that Bardic Inspiration Survivor ability is actually terrible.
Is it?
Yeah. Because you have to stay next to them while they're playing the song. And then if you leave, and the song is like 15 seconds long, so you have to stay within the radius the whole time. And then if you leave the radius after the song, you lose the buff.
Immediately get into a game.
Oh yeah, look at that. What the fuck? Where were these survivors for us? What? Oh, shout out to this Russian dude. Shout out to David King.
You gonna speak to him?
123-112. I don't have my Russian keyboard up though.
What does his name mean?
Donut. I ain't lying. Oh man, maybe I should. Can I plug in my Russian keyboard really quickly?
I don't know. Probably not. I don't know. Starts in 22 seconds. 20. Donut.
Let's see.
5 seconds. Let's do it.
The pre-game lobby.
I love how you can't even see like half of the survivors.
Yeah, I don't know. They didn't redo it very well.
They really just fucking threw this together and just said slay.
It is pretty fun though.
Okay.
Alright, well, my keyboard is now queued up if we run into another Russian. Donut.
Crotus Pen Asylum? This is one of the original maps? You're joking.
Is it? I don't know if it's one of the original ones, but they picked like specific maps. Why?
Huntress.
Oh, and Billy? Yep. Oh, they're both here. Oh.
Yeah, I'm leaving there.
Not a great start.
We have 8 generators?
Yeah, but there's 15 on the map.
Holy fuck!
And, so the Billy, he can't down you in one hit.
What the hell?
With his chainsaw, but while he uses his chainsaw, people around him are exposed. So the other killer can one-shot.
Oh god! Goodbye! Ah! No, 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 no. Okay. Yeah, no. Okay, I see what you mean. Oh god! Yeah, I'm in a little claw hand! Thank you, Claudette.
Oh, she do see me, though. Oh, they do be seeing me.
Thank you so much for... Oh god, oh fuck. Later, skaters. It might be Jover for me.
No.
I'm already on my second claw.
Oh, you are? Oh. Oh no.
Hey, it's just a warm-up game.
That's true. Is anyone coming for you? Can you see?
I've got a little time. I think someone's...
But are we all
making their way.
outlined in yellow for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think someone's trying to make their way to me.
Okay. If not, I'll come for you once I finish this gen. In a sec.
I don't know if you're gonna make it. It might be Jover.
Oh shit, I'm coming.
Remember me. Remember that I once lived.
Wait, no, I can make it. Just don't fuck up the skill check.
I'm trying my best.
Ba-ba-da-ba. Ba-ba-ba.
Oh my god, you legend.
Wait, let me heal you.
Okay, let's just get down below at least. Where are these gens?
It's a gen here. Okay, she's going for it. Oh, fuck. Okay, Huntress is upstairs.
I'm trying my best to do a gen. Remember me?
Oh, there's someone. I can go get right here.
3 gens left though, that's amazing.
Yeah, and there's a few that are decent progress. And there's also 3 exit gates. Okay, that's 3 man, this shit.
Sigh.
No one is dead yet, though. That's pretty good.
It's definitely not terrible.
Oh man, so many people are down.
I know.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice. They both just spawned right here. That's
Oh,
really
several
clutch.
of them.
Oh shit.
We need the buggy.
Come on, Stinky. Oh, never mind. Oh! Don't do it, Huntress. Don't do it. Don't you think about it. Don't do it.
Let me heal you. Girl.
Oh, the tree!
Can I heal you, please?
Ugh.
What are you doing? Let me heal you. Hold still.
Shit.
Oh, shit. Oh, God.
Oh.
Can I
Oh,
heal
we're
you,
all in
please?
death hook. Ooh, not great.
Oh, God! Oh, God, I'm stuck in a generator! Shit!
Oh,
It's over for
rip.
me.
I don't know if we're gonna make it.
Remember me.
Everyone's on death hook and we're all going down. There's a gen here that hasn't even started yet. Oh God, she saw me.
I will remember you.
Don't do it! Oh! It's just a prank, bro. It's just a prank!
No!
Not the slow vault.
Let's see if they make it. Yeah, shit, everyone's on fucking death.
So there's 2 escape hatches, and I think they open up when there's 2 survivors left at 2 gens. So I think once the next 2 people die, they'll open it.
Okay. They're playing the long game. Oh shit. Oh God. Rest in peace. Oh God, both of them are there.
Rip.
Rip.
Yeah, she's just this,
Hey gamers.
what's her name? Laura Croft. Yeah. It's Laura Croft who's waiting for her.
Searching desperately for that hatch. Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh
no! The vault. Oh, oh.
Okay, so she's been hit.
I don't think they found either of the hatches yet, though. Where are they?
Oh, the other
one made it out.
One made
did
it
find
out,
the hatch. Yeah.
Whoa!
Rick. Oh, it was there! I heard it!
I can hear it as well!
Oh! Yeah.
Oh my god.
The Shakespearean tragedy.
Truly. You can't even see. Oh wait, yeah, you have to scroll.
You have to scroll, yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, there are survivor challenges too for the
Yeah.
event.
Free 4 survivors from a cage. Must free them safely. That was crazy. So how do we see what loadout we take in?
It's in the loadout, and then it's the inventory section is the
Why
4
is this
classes.
unlocked? Why is this locked?
So that is self-heal, and it unlocks, everyone has it, all 4 classes have it. It unlocks when you're on Death Hook, so you can heal yourself if you're injured.
The locked one. The unlockable
Yeah,
skill.
yeah.
Class medic.
Escapist probably might be the best if you want to unhook people, because you get the sprint burst.
Okay.
It can be kind of frustrating to, like, try to unhook someone, and then someone else gets there first.
Okay. I'm just looking through them. What does scout do? While a killer is within line of sight within 64 meters, their aura is revealed to the team. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's definitely the strongest part.
Grunts of pain caused by injuries are reduced while crouching. That's crazy. We'll try Escapist though. But maybe we do this on a different character. Nah, fuck it. We ball. Let's see how quickly we get into a game.
Maybe Killer Q is just cursed.
Maybe we should have just waited.
Yeah, we did find it. What the heck? I swear.
Are you ready to lose some Dead by Daylight?
Whoa, what is this negative attitude? Excuse me.
Hey now.
I see only wins, okay?
Only dubs.
Yeah. The future's so bright, I gotta wear shades, Mousie.
Crotus Pen Asylum.
Second map's the charm.
Yes, that's what they say.
I do love that we all start roughly together, and there's just like a mad scramble to find a generator. Oh, Wraith and Huntress, okay.
They're chasing someone else, so...
Yeah, there is a gen here.
Oh god! That's one. Oh no!
Oh, why did I slow vault?
We got one down.
Oh god, he's coming right for me.
You did not just
do
leave
it.
them here.
Oh, get fucked, nerd. Oh no, it's Jover.
Everyone's been hit. And then she takes what's in that! Bitch,
Oh,
what?
get fucked.
Are you kidding me?
I'm coming for the survivor. Oh no. No.
This is so goofy, seeing so many people. Genuinely is wild. My time has come! Oh god! Ah, shit.
Who's on second approach?
Well, sometimes it's just not your day.
Ooh!
Hello,
Oh!
friends. Oh, they got me
no.
off the hook. Are you okay? Oh no, you're not.
That was so unfortunate. They both showed up.
We're just doing a little healing. A little group healing, you know what I'm saying?
What? Someone get me off, please.
Oh god.
Doesn't look too hot.
Someone got you. We're healing again. Toolbox repair, let's fucking go. We're doing it. Did someone get you, by the way?
Huh? Oh yeah, yeah, I'm repairing a gen.
Oh, sick, I can see it now, yeah. The textures are really doing my head in.
No, Huntress, no, this gen is so close! God damn it.
Just stay committed, stay committed.
I had to leave.
No, not
He's
you.
on it. I'm gonna go back to that gen.
Oh my god, it's you.
It's me.
There's a line on it. What do we do?
Huh? What do you mean?
Oh, okay, we got it.
Oh yeah, that's like the regression line. When they kick it. Stop the regression. Yeah, look at how fucking zoomy we are.
She's gonna be around here in a second.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to a different gen. Cool.
she's after me. Okay. Remember me. This is gonna be my second hook.
We are working on multiple gens, though. Oh god, I can see. Oh no, I can see you. Oh, it's okay, I took their attention. Don't you hit me with that axe, you bitch. Woo! Oh, mommy! Oh, I can't go through there. Oh, it's Jover. Oh, please. No, is that Death Hook? Oh, rip.
Fuck!
There goes my hero.
I was doing so well as well, and then fucking Wraith showed up and scared the shit out of me, genuinely.
So, hi, how are you? Wonderful weather we're having.
Oh, it's so warm at my desk under these lights. Jesus Christ. Oh my god, I've been saved. And I'm being healed. Thank you, Blueberry. Oh no. Blueberry, run.
What is this person doing?
No, please! Have mercy on me! No!
Oh, we have one gen left too.
No!
Oh.
Hold on, I need to pop out the chat. And then close this because whew. Will they make it? One gen left as well. That's crazy.
Skyfall was working on one that was 60% or so too.
Mousie, the damsel in distress. What girl? What are you doing?
Really trying to get her attention to get healed. Wait, she has self-heal. What is she doing? Why did she just self-heal? Hello?
The numbers dwindle. Wraith is so fucking scary though.
Yeah.
Just turning up.
I really wish you could have. Oh, I really wish you could have double the same killer. Just for the goofiness of it. Like imagine having two nurses. Just teleporting all over the map. Oh no, it's working on a gen. This is bad.
What the hell was that?
Who are you looking at?
Blueberry, what was that?
Oh, Blueberry.
She stood by the pallet to get a flashlight off on the Wraith, and then oh my god.
Did you see what I sent you?
Let me see.
New addition to the throne, perhaps?
Oh, slay. Yeah, maybe. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, brother. Snap into a cathedral, brother. They're just gonna let her die for the hatch, yeah.
Wow.
Can't believe it. The ultimate betrayal.
Wow. No respect, honestly. Wow.
With friends like these, who needs enemies?
The other one's getting wraithed.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Let's see if Meg can pull this off.
Yeah, Huntress isn't anywhere near her. Oh! She got it.
Oh, lucky.
Alright.
Rest in pepperoni.
Oh, he got it too. Wow.
Slay. Wow. Wow,
Can't
wow,
believe they got
wow.
rewarded for letting Hannah die.
That jump scare off the wraith. Should we try and see if we can get into killer
Get a
again?
killer? Yeah.
Yeah. It just seems like so much more fun. You get so many more blood points for being a survivor, but...
Yeah, I don't know why you don't get bonus blood points for being a killer. It's such a weird decision.
There's just so many. I'm gonna pull up Wraith. Wraith just seems like so much fun. While cloaked within 16 meters of your teammate, they gain an undetectable status effect. Oh my god.
Oh, that's cool. That explains why I couldn't see the Huntress sometimes.
Upon entering a chase, the targeted survivors are revealed for 5 seconds until the other killer is within 16 meters of the survivor. Or until. After kicking a generator, all survivors within 20 meters are revealed for 5 seconds! Increases the regression speed of generators by 200%. Oh my god. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, the killer skill one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what, when we were playing Survivor, that sound that would pop up, like that shwee thing,
Shwee.
is what the killer skill is.
I have faith.
I have faith too.
I'm choosing to believe.
I can't get caught in my own traps. Hell yeah. I'm gonna place down all the freaking traps.
Do 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 do. Everybody, stop being
Liberté,
wow.
égalité, Beyoncé.
I have faith that we'll get a game. There's got to be enough
Right?
survivors out there.
Like, if we found a game instantly survivors, I am so puzzled as
and
how
they
we
were all
can't
different
find a game
survivors each
instantly.
time, so
Yeah, it's how we can't find a game as killer.
I have faith. We just need to chill. We just need to chill and lock in. Okay. We gotta have faith. I do love my Phantom of the Opera skin.
99 bottles of milk on the wall, 99 bottles of milk.
Take one down and pass it around. 98
98
bottles of milk on the wall.
I swear to God, I'll turn this car around and we will not go to Six Flags.
How far down, like, do you think you count down before, like, you get annoyed with it?
Oh, probably to like 80 something. 87 maybe.
Hey, Nightjar! Welcome to queuing for a match hell.
Queuing. Mousie and friends. I am the friends.
We are waiting. We are
Yeah.
waiting. We just played 2 games as Survivor and gotten instantly, I might add. So the games do exist.
Clear survivor bias. What the heck did I do?
I know. Na 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 na. I'm doing some work after work because it's a fun Saturday, so if you need my attention, give me a little mod check in chat and I'll be more likely to notice. Slay! Thank you, Nightjar. Hope you're having a good day. Do 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 do. So the place where I get my pedicure started doing this very weird thing. At the end of the pedicure, they'll like slap the bottom of your feet and then slap your calves a whole bunch as some sort of like weird massage. Yeah. And I'm genuinely like, what the hell's going on? Every time. Like, it's not unpleasant, but it's like, what's going on?
I am once again asking why when they do that, they get paid, and when I do that, I get the cops called on me.
Are you slapping the bottom of random people's feet?
I mean, no, but if I did, I would get the cops called on me. And I'm doing it for free. What the heck? 98 bottles of milk on the wall. 98 bottles of milk. Please
you
no.
take when Daddy has her. 98 bottles of milk on the wall. $97 bottles of milk on the wall. Oh my god. They're just in a game right now. All the survivors are in a game right now. They'll be out soon. They'll be out soon.
We're gonna find Donut again.
There's only like 16 survivors playing right now.
Yeah. Massive player base.
Everyone
the servers
queue
can't
up.
handle it.
Yeah, exactly. No. Now you got that stuck in my head. Look what you've done.
Sorry.
Chat, I hope you're ready for this. I hope you're ready for some stellar gameplay.
Just need to get a different song stuck in your head.
Why can I never remember the lyrics to that song?
I can sing a Russian song.
You know, there's actually a Russian song that I remember my stepmother playing all the time. And it was like, when she said it, what it was about, like, it was about it was a woman singing it, and she was like, how could you do this to me? It's like a heartbreak song. But it was like really, like satisfying to listen to, because like the Russian just sounded really pretty. But I can't remember any of it. I remember how the tune went.
How it goes? I don't think I've ever heard of it before. It doesn't sound familiar.
I can't remember how the Russian sounded, but
I just learned one recently. There's an old Soviet film about the Three Musketeers. It was like a 3-part televised thing.
Okay.
And it was a musical, and it's like 4 hours long altogether.
Wow.
But there's one song that I was like listening to Russian radio the other day, and it's one of the songs on their playlist. And eventually, and I was listening to it yesterday, and I was like, what is this song? Like, it's really catchy, but I keep hearing it. I have no idea what it's from. So I looked it up, and yeah, it's about musketeers.
Musketeers.
Yeah. And it's got like in the actual movie it's got because it was I think it was filmed in 78.
Oh,
It's got
wow.
like yeah, it's got like discotheque soundtrack kind of a thing. It's pretty funny.
Did you ever see the sexy Three Musketeers movie?
Huh?
The one that was really, really bad, but like
Sexy Three
everyone was
Musketeers. Oh
hot in
God,
it.
I need to switch to my English keyboard. Hold on.
Well, you just need to search the Musketeers.
Sexy Three Musketeers. The Erotic Adventures of the Three Musketeers?
No!
It's the first thing that came up on Rotten Tomatoes. Is it the Sex Adventures of the Three Musketeers?
No, it's just the Musketeers. It was a recent one.
Huh?
Hold on.
Wait, but unironically, I think we need to watch this.
Hold on. There's a
It's got a
TV
60%
show.
audience score.
The
It's from
Musketeers
1970? What the heck?
movie. Three Musketeers. 2011. The Three Musketeers.
I need to filter this with
The one where
letterbox.
everyone's hot.
I did not type letterboxed and some questionable content came up. There we go. I think that's the next movie.
Did you put it in suggestions?
Yep.
God damn. This is what happens when you don't queue a Survivor.
When you don't queue us for killer.
Come on. Everyone in the chat, load up right now.
Красавице и куку, счастливо мукliku. Пока-пока покачивая перьями на шляпах, судьбе расшепнул merci beaucoup. Пам-пам-пам-пам. Нужны Парижу деньги. C'est la vie! А рыцари ему нужны тенпачи. Ну что такое рыцарь без любви? А что такое рыцарь без удачи? Пора порадуемся на своем веку. Красавице и кубку, счастливому клику. Пока-пока покачивая перьями на шляпах, судьбе не расшепнул merci beaucoup. There you go.
Thank you.
Why didn't that work? What the frick? Dead by Daylight?
What if I pretend to leave again?
Oh
no!
What if we both leave?
Oh, I think that might be it. As you know, there's two killers. I think we both have to like.
Oh shit, you're right. Let me go heat up my tea.
I apologize to all the British people in the chat who just had to hear that. And now I pretend to leave. Or excuse me, actually leave. Oh no. Damn it. It's not working. What's the girl gotta do to get a killer game around here? Chat, how long have we been queued? I feel like, are we there yet? This genuinely feels like an are we there yet moment. Do do do. Look at him dance. You can dance if you wanna. You can leave your friends behind. Because if your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, well, they're no friends of mine. You can dance. You can dance. Bow, 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 bow. You can dance. You can
Oh.
dance. Yeah, it didn't work.
I actually went and reheated my tea. It didn't work.
Damn. Click holding's looking pretty damn good by the second. Clicking a button while a guy stares
Do you need
at
to
us.
download it?
No, I haven't. I have it already downloaded.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, okay.
The moment Garg suggested it to me, I bought it and got it downloaded. There's also another game that we never finished. Me, Kerm, and Kaz were playing it. It was a single player, but we had it on. We were playing it on Parsec. It was
Oh,
Killer
right.
Frequency. Killer Frequency.
Yeah, I remember you guys talking about that.
I never finished it. We never finished it. Do you think we'll ever get a game, Petrock?
I'll look uncertain. Try again later.
Someone shake a magic 8-ball. One of you in chat.
Maybe I need to play Billy.
You think?
I need to become the Drift King.
The Drift King himself.
Ding 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 ding.
They're just all in a game right now. Dun 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 dun. Imagine all the killers just sitting in like around the campfire. Just think of how many there are just waiting. Just waiting to be picked.
Was that the first draft of John Lennon's Imagine? Imagine all the killers sitting in a queue. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Imagine all the survivors. That could be
blowing up their jets.
If you load up the game right now, chat. We're going! It's happening! It's happening!
Oh, John Lennon!
John Lennon!
We'd like to dedicate this match to John Lennon and Yoko Ono. Alright.
'Cause I ain't no hollaback girl.
We got Gartzen, Sody Pop, Tonti sauce. I really hope that's not supposed to be taint sauce. Sendoa, Torino, a Torsha, Cook, 78, and Sarah Pasta. Damn. Fucking All-Stars League.
Oh my god.
Wait, do I have to stay as Billy? Oh, okay. Oh, well, fuck it.
Did you not have time to change back?
I don't think I could, but I didn't really think about it until the very end.
Drift King himself time.
Yeah.
I bet I'm ready to see some plays.
Oh, I'm gonna chainsaw all of the walls. I will hit no survivors.
At least we only have to stomp on them after downing them.
Yeah, that is nice. Yeah, if you were to drag them to a hook, that'd be a nightmare.
So true. Oh, Auto Havens! I love Auto Haven.
Oh, heck yeah, Auto Haven. This is my first time playing killer in this mode. Oh wait, I'm playing trapper. What the heck? I thought I switched to Billy. Okay, I'm cool with that.
Slay. Yeah, I saw a trap on the ground and I was like, wait.
Pop off, king.
I see your traps everywhere, by the way.
Come here, Stinky.
I'm hitting loads of them.
Yeah, I got one. Send to the cave.
Yeah, there's one right behind you, right behind you, right behind you.
Huh? Oh, hello. Nice. Man, it turns out it really helps having 2 killers in voice chat. Oh my gosh, look at all the hook states and the next to the gens.
Whee! Hi, hello everyone.
Oh, Dwight, you fool.
Thank you!
Rip. Rip. Nice. Let me just reset that right there.
Oh, I'm on Dwight's ass right now.
Wait, I hear someone opening a crate. Yeah, hold on.
Hey! This is great. I can see why so many killers are queuing up for this.
Oh man, they haven't got a single gen yet. Oh, never mind.
Ooh, I'm seeing scratch marks. 06, like.
Oh yeah, hey, I'm right here too.
Let's get him! Yay! I'll go the other way. Hi.
Nice. Just gonna put a trap there for next time.
There they go again. Hi, Dwight.
Oh. Hello. At a wall. No! You jerk. No!
Girl, are you blind? Whee! Zoom, 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 zoom. She missed the pallet! Oh god.
Oh, that got someone in a trap. Very nice.
Oh, I didn't uncloak fully. What the fuck?
To the cage with you, you fool. Oh, someone else got in a trap?
That was on me.
Nice.
Oh,
yeah, I'm putting them on all the
slay.
pallets, as many pallets I can.
That was so good. Oh, hello, Claudette.
Oh no. Someone else got trapped.
Oh no. Thank you for breaking this pallet.
I am coming.
I'm just gonna break all the things, Claudette. She's just burning through all of these pallets. I could maybe use some help with her.
Huh? Yeah, let me set that trap. Alright. Oh! Hold on, I'm on someone else.
Get him then. Ah, fuck him.
Oh, bummer. I'll break this jump.
Fuck! Screw them.
Hello.
I'm on my way. Hi!
Oh, hey. What up?
There she is.
Yep, walk right towards that trap. Yep. Nice. Idiot. You fool.
I love the way they burn through so many traps.
Oh, yeah, yep. Walk right into that trap. Nice.
Hi.
I'll go get this guy over here. Hey, Bill.
This is funny as shit. One's right here by the door.
Huh? Oh,
Right here.
Nice. Cut her off at the canyon pass. No! Get back here, you! Nice.
Okay, this is how.
See.
She humming Baby Shark while killing someone, Mr. Calling.
A lot of them must be on Death Hook. Surely. Oh, that trap is actually cheating. It goes into the ground. I can't see it.
Just ran that way. Why would you put the pallet down there, sweetheart? Around hut.
Nice.
One of them's down if you wanna.
Yep, got her.
Where'd the other one go?
I don't
this
know.
way.
I'm gonna kick this really quick. Oh, she's behind the hut. Behind Killer Shack.
Hi.
Hi. Oh no. Oh no.
This is so fun as the Wraith. Other side of the map. Over here, yeah.
Yeah. See that. Oh, there's someone over here. It's Bill!
Oh no, what will we do? You did a pallet.
Oh no, I'm just gonna get him really
Claudette.
quick too.
Yeah, Claudette's running towards you. No, okay, she's running back
Wait,
this
what?
way.
Oh, she him.
Oh, she's whiffed me. Oh, Bill is just on the ground. Here, let me take her back.
Yeah, I killed Bill. Oh, I see Claudette. Nice.
I'm heading to the other gens. Oh.
Wait, yeah. If you want to hit him, I'll go for
Yeah, go on.
stay on here. She go in here.
She went somewhere.
Oh yeah, here she is.
Did you get her?
She just vaulted out of the house. Of the shack. Oh no.
I'm heading back towards the other side. 2 gens left.
Ah, there's no way. They need the hatches. There's no way they can get it.
They're probably hiding. Oh, I found one.
Oh nice, I'm over here on the other side. Oh, I found one. Ah, ha, ha. I made her run into it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's just Dwight.
It's just Dwight? I found one of the hatches.
Oh, I found one of the hatches too. Oh my god, we found both of them. Instantly. Oh, poor Dwight.
It's closed.
Oh,
I
so
closed
wait,
mine.
there must be 3 hatches then, because I closed mine too. Oh yeah, I found the other one.
Yes!
Oh, poor Dwight.
Oh, slay.
Alright. I'm going to the one that's apart from the other ones. Oh yeah, he's on mine. He's on mine.
On my way.
Come to me. Yeah.
I see him, yep.
Oh, Mr. Dwight. I think your time has come to an end. Rip. Care to do the honors?
I shall.
Oh, that was worth the wait.
That was really satisfying.
Oh, man.
Oh, that was so worth the wait. Homie, that was so much fun. Oh my god. Holy shit. This is the 8 versus 2 thing they added, yes. What did they say in the chat?
Oh, I just said GG's.
Oh, right. Holy shit. That was worth the wait.
Oh, man. Dude, Trapper's so good. There's like so much chaos
Play
going
the
on that no
Trapper
one
in one
thinks
trial.
to look.
No, I want to play Wraith.
Oh, I can play the Trapper in one trial. Yeah.
Okay, you do it first.
Yeah, and then we'll switch out and I can play something else.
Oh my god, that was
break out
so
the
good!
Billy.
That was so good! I forgot how satisfying it is to play Wraith as well.
Yeah, I love Wraith. He's my favorite.
He's one of my boos.
Yeah,
Okay, I need to run to the
it's all
restroom
about
because
the
I
bing
drank all
bongs.
that. But about so in the mode, you're only allowed to play the base killers. So believe me, if I could play Vommy Mommy, I absolutely would be playing Vommy Mommy. But I think because it's not a base killer and it has like special things about it. Like,
Yeah, I don't think they really
the
balanced it
pulls.
around the fancy
Yeah.
killers with a bunch of mechanics and stuff.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna run to the
Just
restroom
the regular
real quick.
old farts.
I'm sure we won't get into a game immediately.
Yeah, you should queue up. Yeah.
I had time to go to the restroom, pet my dog, grab a stroop waffle and a bottle of water.
And killers really just are built different.
We're just relaxing. We're
Yeah.
vibing. Oh, if only I could put words on stream up for chat, but I can't connect it to the Ogscast, unfortunately. Aleph, I love the way you did exclamation point fish and it brought up, like, Japamon immediately after. What even is that emote? Fish moly. We got it added the other week. Hell yeah. God, that game was so good. That was so satisfying. We got all 8 of them. Oh, that was so good.
Our 1 killer game per hour.
Listen. It was worth it.
It's true, it actually was.
It actually really was worth it. That Claudette in the last game was so good.
Was she? Was she looping pretty well?
Yeah, no, she was also doing the thing where she would, like, run at me and run around me.
Oh, while you're swinging?
Yeah. Oh. 96 bottles of milk on the wall. 96 bottles of milk. You take one down, you pass it around. We need, like, a clicker game that we could have up in the background. Imagine if there was a Dead by Daylight farming sim.
A bunch of survivors on a farm.
And the villagers are the killers. What if you could marry a killer?
Idle killing.
Idle
You
killer?
marry a killer?
we both went, like, way different, like,
totally
directions.
Different directions. Inside of you are 2 animals. The monster fucker and the monster killer.
I mean, have you seen some of the fan art of this game?
No. Why have you? Mousie, I hate to bring it to you, but none of these killers are particularly attractive.
Tell that to the fucking people. There's a Dead by Daylight dating sim, Petrock.
No, there's not. No, there's not. You're lying.
It's called Hooked on You. Look it up on Steam right now.
Hooked on You, Steam. Why? Why is Trapper Jack? What is this? Oh my god. What is this?
For those those who are wondering what he's looking at, I'll bring up my Steam real quick. Hold on.
Oh my god.
Hold
Wait,
on.
is it made by the Dead by Daylight
Yes!
people?
Yes!
Oh no. Oh no.
Hooked on You, a Dead by Daylight dating sim. Literally made by Behavior. They are fully aware of how horny people are about this game. Okay.
Do you think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created?
I mean... oh my god.
Maybe sentience was a mistake.
Yeah, people get real fucking horny over some of the characters, especially Trapper. There's a lot of artwork of Trapper.
He's a burly lad.
Mm-hmm. Mousie, get off Tumblr. I haven't opened up Tumblr in ages, okay? I can't believe you didn't know about the Dead by Daylight dating sim.
Why would you think I did know about it? Is this shocking?
Yes! This seemed like something that you would know about.
I mean, yeah, I know I'm a freak, but like... I didn't know what... I'm a freak in different ways, okay? I didn't know what AO3 was until like a month and a half ago.
Oh my god, you sweet summer child. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Believe it or not, I don't go actively seeking that stuff out in my free time. I'm a man of class, Mousie. I stick to the classics.
What, like Twilight?
Yeah, oh yeah. Team Jacob all the way.
Absolutely not. His ending ended up so weird.
I wouldn't know. I've never read the books nor seen the movies.
What?
Why would you think I've read the Twilight books? It's like that is
You've not even
quintessential.
seen the movies.
No, it's
Are you an
quintessential
actual
teen
millennial,
thirst
or
trap. I have taste, okay?
so you've seen 50 Shades of Grey then?
I actually haven't.
I haven't either, thank God. Some of us have standards,
Nor have I
Mousie.
read the book.
I haven't read the book either. I refuse.
Yeah.
iPad kid right there. Oh my god.
Get her ass, Aleph.
Oh my god. Wow. You read a romance novel about serial killers falling in love twice, and suddenly you're getting attacked on the internet.
Okay, see, but those are probably still better books than Twilight.
They are much better books than
Yeah,
Twilight.
it's
In fact,
case closed.
fuck. Only twice, sure. Well, there's only two that I know about. Well, actually, there is the Mindfuck series, which I think is the one that's about a serial killer falling in love with the FBI agent that's, like, technically tracking her.
I see.
Which apparently is supposed to be very, very good, and I want to put it up on my throne at some point. Isn't that just Silence of the Lambs? Fuck if I know.
Have you never seen Silence of the Lambs?
No. Isn't that just Stockholm
Oh, you
Syndrome?
should see
What?
it.
I've seen, like, parts of Silence of the Lambs, right? Like
We
I've
should
seen
watch
like
it.
add it to the suggestions.
I will. Yeah.
The thing
Literally
is
what I'm
like
doing right
it's
now.
one of those movies that I've seen so many clips of that it's at a point where I'm pretty sure I've seen the movie just in different
Yeah.
parts. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, we should watch Children of the Corn too.
I
That
feel like
was
I
fun.
have seen that one. It sounds very familiar to me.
It's basically like a child cult where the children lure in people and kill them.
Yes.
Children of the Corn. There's a 2023 remake? What?
What?
No. It's just the first thing that popped in my. Oh yeah, there is. This 2023 remake. I don't know why they would do that, but no, I don't want the 2020 version.
The entire series put into one book. Oh my god, this book must be massive. Oh my god. It's either the full book or... Yeah.
What? All the Twilight books?
No! Why would I buy the Twilight books?
I don't know. You said it was massive. I assumed it was all the Twilight books.
No, I said it's gotta be massive if it's all the books in the series put into one.
But what books though?
The Mindfuck series.
Oh, it's a series.
Yeah!
The first one did well enough that there were other ones after.
Yeah, romance novels, especially dark romance novels,
It's
do very
true.
well. Smut sells.
Yeah, it's true. So when is this gonna get relabeled as just chatting?
Shut up. Don't do that. We're actively waiting for a game, okay?
Survivors, please.
Survivors, queue up here so that we can stop talking about smutty romance novels.
There's 158 people watching. How are there not 8 survivors amongst you? 161. It just went up.
Surely 8 of you wish to play this game.
Yeah.
What was the last book you read?
Me?
Yeah.
It was. Oh shoot, was it the last one I read? I can't remember if it was the last one I read or not, but the last one I can remember is a book about the late Cold War and the uh, series of negotiations between the Reagan and Gorbachev administrations for nuclear disarmament.
Wow.
Well, you asked. Those are the kind of books I read.
Oh!
That's my day
Oh!
job.
We've got a live one!
Oh.
Tap back in right fucking now!
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. It worked. Reagan Bros.
Don't even own the game. We are so back.
Yeah, it was called Arsenals of Folly. About Cold War arms race.
That sounds
Good read.
That
Pretty
sounds like
academic,
something. Yeah.
but yeah, but that's what I read for fun, because that's my job. I mean, that's basically like that picture of all the books under my monitor. They're all just books about like nuclear weapons.
Your job is nuclear weapons?
Yeah, I do nuclear non-proliferation, disarmament, and arms control policy stuff for a living.
What? Holy
Yeah.
shit.
I thought you knew that.
No, that's cool as shit though.
Yeah. Pretty pretty fun and not depressing job.
And you choose to play League?
Yeah, I know. I need an escape.
Oh my god.
Literally, like 9 times out of 10, I like open up because my Twitter feed is pretty well curated to like news about nuclear weapons and like disarmament negotiations and stuff like that. And so much of it is depressing that 9 times out of 10 I'll open up my phone and just be sad.
It's time.
Oh shit, I'm falling traps.
I'm zooming, I'm like a rat. There should be a rat skin for the Wraith.
Oh shit, there should.
Why is the edge of the map just not there?
Oh, there should be a rat skin for Chucky.
Huh?
What do you mean? Dude, I'm putting down all the traps.
Come here, little elf lady!
Hello.
Come here!
Ow.
Oh no, what will we do? Let me just take care of this real quick.
Oh. He was gonna go one way and then he saw you there. He's like, oh, I shouldn't be here. Oh, for goodness sake. Alright, I'm just gonna come help you.
There's so many!
Nice.
Yes, please, take down the pallet.
Send to the
no,
cage.
They stunned me. Whatever will I do?
To the cage where you belong. Oh yeah, the map is just missing. What is that?
Yeah,
That's
okay,
where
you
the
said
gate
that,
is.
right?
That's where the gate is supposed to be, but it's just gone. What the heck? Small indie company.
Come here, Laura.
Ooh, someone's in a trap.
Laura's bleeding out. Laura. Come here, Laura. Thank you for the trap, homie. Appreciate it. What the hell is this? Oh yeah, they can see it as well!
Yeah.
What the hell is this? What the hell is going on? They can just fall off the map! What the heck? Ah!
Did you fall off?
Yes!
Where'd you
What
go?
the fuck? They can get behind the map!
Are
The
you
map
just
is
falling?
actually broken! My dude, the map is actually broken.
Yeah, I saw it. I killed someone.
They can
over
get
there.
behind the wall, my dude. They can actually...
Like, just walk fully outside of the map?
Yes!
Not even just in that red area?
Yes.
Damn, what the heck?
We're gonna have some...
Shenanigans. Oh my god, there's so many people running here.
Dude, this is so fucked. The fact that you can just get behind, we'll have to keep this in mind.
I
He's
just hit
gonna
someone
fall
off the
down in front
map.
of you.
Oh, she's back. Okay.
Yeah,
What,
she's
she's
just
just gonna come back, right?
Right there.
Yeah.
So you just gotta keep hitting her over and over again. This is so fucked.
Alright, whatever. Let her keep falling. Oh,
No,
nice.
I got her.
Gotta stop these kids. They've only got 4 left.
I think this game is a wash.
Might be a wash, yeah. Oh, hello.
Hi. I hit Sable. I can't believe they can just get behind the map like that. They're gonna have to come back in order to win, that's the thing.
Well, how did that not stun me? Yeah, they've only got 2 gens left, though.
I mean, that's fair enough. We'll just re-queue and pray.
Oh yeah, they're working on one gen.
In the hut.
Yeah. No!
Got her.
Oh, nice.
Where'd the other ones go?
I don't know, they were around here. I didn't see where exactly. Oh, they're working on one over by me.
Oh, I found one. Oh, she whiffed me. One's coming towards. Oh no, what will we do? Laura.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah, run right towards it. Nice.
They're probably going back to...
They're not on that jet.
They're right here.
They're not on that jet. Yeah, they're all around these jets. Oh, shoot.
The fact that they could get out of the map, though, is so messed up. I think this match is just... Yeah.
Oh yeah, that isn't even an exit gate. That's just part of the map that didn't, like, load properly. What the heck? Why not buy this one? Okay, there's someone on the gate I'm going towards. Yeah, they're coming towards you.
Whee! Well, they'll probably get a gate open, that's fair. Oh my god, what the hell? How did I
you
miss
go for
her?
her, I'll go for Sable.
Fuck!
We're still gonna end up getting a lot of them.
If she abuses the map... Okay, fair enough. I can respect this Lara Croft for not abusing the map.
Going back to that other gate. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, nice. Someone's at this gate. Gonna go.
Hi. Got her. Sable? Hello? How did she just appear in front of me? Don't do it.
Oh, you're gonna
Girl.
run out of pallets, man.
Girl, what are you doing? Are you serious? They are actually abusing the map.
Alright, I'm getting this person and then I'll come help you. Because, how many are there?
I don't know. But Sable just went off the edge of the map.
I'm gonna put a trap at the other gate. Oh, yeah, I see one coming for this other gate. Nice.
That's just so not cool.
Got another?
Where did the sable go?
Going back to that other gate. Don't know if anyone's on it. Nope. Okay, gonna reset the trap. Are you keeping an eye on the
Yeah, the gate
gate
that's close to the
the
map.
glitch point?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. I'm just rotating between these other two. I have traps on both of them, so...
I think you might have gotten the sable somehow. I think she like spawned
yeah, I think I did. She was opening this gate.
They might be waiting for... Which is
I
gonna
have
be
traps
waiting
at both
a
those
long
things,
time.
though. Oh, yeah, they probably are waiting for her to die. Oh, I hear one. Oh, no, that's her. Never mind. It's the person on
No,
the...
no, no, there's one around you. Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes, she's
hello.
running.
She just came out of the thing. Yeah, she got her off the hook.
They're both over here.
Okay, nice.
One's going towards the gate.
Yep, I'm going for the dude.
I'll go for...
Oh, they're running together. Nice. Yep.
No, don't do it, mate. Come on. I'm going back to the gates.
No, I missed.
Oh, I found him.
Where did he go? How did he get all the way over there?
That's the problem with the gate, my dudes.
Oh, how did I get him? Oh! There's a hatch up here I'm gonna close.
Yep.
If you get him, I'll start looking for hatches elsewhere. Yep, I hear another one. I'm closing it. Alright, there's one hatch left. Probably over by your side.
He's in the hut.
Yep.
He's running around the hut. I'm here, mate. Where is the other one?
I see him.
No, I mean, there's another one alive still.
Yeah, I'm probably hiding in a locker, I had to guess. Trying to look for
the other hatch.
the hatch. I got two of them.
I found it.
Nice. Well, there's traps on, like, all the... Except for that exit. Are you gonna go to that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll chill out by these two.
I'm near the glitched one. Wow. Oh, they got out.
How'd they do that?
What?
Oh.
Did they open the door?
I don't know. I had traps on both those two over there. Thought that they were close enough that they would have to disable them to get to the gate controls. Oh.
Customer support. Oh. How do I do this? Donner's better than Gyros! Honestly. Those are some strong words, mate. Let's not say things we don't mean.
I really mean. Oh. Based survivors.
Oh my god.
Alright. Do you want to take Trapper out for a spin for the challenge thingy?
Not really. I'm actually really enjoying Wraith.
Oh, okay.
I'm loving it
I'm
that
down to
much.
keep. I'm down to keep playing Trapper.
Fuck it, yeah, let's do it. Plus, the sooner we get in the queue.
True. Need to ready it. $95 bottles of milk on the wall. 95 bottles of milk. Are you keeping track?
Yes.
Are we drinking one thing of milk per game?
Yes. Listen, we're lactose intolerant over here, okay?
Hey, speak for yourself.
Wow. Okay.
I'm the one downing all the milk.
And I'm just sitting there like chug, chug, chug,
Yeah,
chug.
it's time for your daily dose of milk. Yes, dear.
God, it's so much fun to play Killer. I can't believe the map was fucked though. That's so messed up.
I didn't see. That's the first time I've seen that, and I've been playing this mode as Survivor for the past 2 days quite a bit. I don't even know how you could cause that.
I think I know. So you know how the maps that we're playing have multiple versions of them? I think they've stitched all the versions together.
Oh.
And so
that
on one
when
of
it shuffled
the
the map,
yeah.
somehow it shuffled incorrectly and didn't stitch together.
Yeah, I think on one of the maps there is
be...
technically a gate there.
Because it does look like it's the size of a gate, yeah.
I think there's meant to be a gate there on one of the maps, but when it pieced together...
Classic.
Incredible.
Wouldn't want it any other way.
I've gotten a giant blue square in the center of the cornfield, but luckily it didn't break much other than giving clear line of sight!
Oh, are we gonna get the blue square?
Oh, imagine. That'd be sick. Slay.
How many colors in the rainbow can we get?
Well, we've gotten red so far.
Yeah.
A missing gate, basically.
First one down.
I do worry that they may have escaped by going behind the map.
Oh, I wonder.
Because we closed everything and we
Can
were
you wrap all the way around, you think?
Maybe.
Oh, you may be right.
The moment that we hit the hatches.
Yeah, you might be right. I wonder if you could do that even when the gens are up still. Like, if it'll just let you leave.
I think the gates have to activate somehow. Do you know what
They
I
have
mean?
to be powered even if they aren't open.
Yeah. Which is... Yeah. And we basically, us closing the hatches started, like, the countdown thing.
Yeah.
And I genuinely wonder
shit.
if that's
You're probably right. Yeah, because I don't know how they would have opened those either of those two gates. I had traps right on the switch.
Yeah. And I was at the one that was next to the glitched thing, so...
Yeah.
That's messed up, though. What a fucked game.
That might explain why it's only here for the next 11 days. They need some time to workshop it after the event.
The fact that, we get blood points from it as well.
Yeah. I don't know why you don't get 400% blood points for the killer, though. Like, what the heck?
Because you need more survivors than you do killers.
I guess to incentivize people to play survivors, yeah.
Who would want to do that?
Although playing Survivor is pretty fun.
It can be, yeah, but
it's just constantly like, what is happening?
Yes, but the killer game is so good.
That's true.
This is really fun. Na, 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 na. New little beating heart in his in my dude's little axe.
Huh?
My skin is the Phantom
Oh
of the Opera
yeah.
skin, and
Like that.
I have the matching nurse skin because
I
the
kind of want to
nurse and the
get
wraith
the.
are canonically in a relationship.
Are they really?
Yes.
Oh shit. Dead by Daylight lore?
Yeah.
Lore in my Dead by Daylight?
It's legit. Mysterious figure sings in the night, compelling the grieving nurse to find her voice again.
Damn.
And if you go to
Okay.
the nurse
Wraith got game.
customization, after the loss of her husband, she worked 12-hour shifts at an asylum to pay the bills. In the halls at night, she'd hum a sad tune to numb her pain.
Damn. So
But
tragic.
yeah.
I want to get the for the Wraith. I want to get the candle skin, where he's just a giant candle. Go into the store. He has like a candle
Oh
hat.
my god, I've never
Oh,
seen this.
yeah.
I feel like you'd be able to see that from miles off, though.
Yeah, but imagine how good it would feel to kill everyone with that.
True. The golden ox, wow. The Phantom of the Opera is here inside my mind. Do 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 do. But yeah, the Wraith and the Nurse. There's a lot of background lore, my dude. There's so much like shit in this.
You think
Like,
I play games for the lore? Well, other than Elden Ring, but lore in my video game.
the Wraith and the Nurse be smooching.
Man. Imagine if we killed
Together.
together. Imagine if we died by daylight. I'll die in your daylight tonight. Must have been the hook that you used.
Behavior, he's available on the weekends.
Likes long walks on the beach.
If you need a new theme song for the new game coming out.
Are they making a Dead by Daylight too?
No, they're making a oh Christ. Chat, help me. It's the fuck. So
What
you know,
is
like
it?
the
Is it like a...
story, it's a story-driven game.
Oh.
About the Dead by Daylight universe.
Is it an Alan Wake type of thing? It's like a mystery horror thing?
I don't think so. Chat, what's it called? It's genuinely escaping my brain right now.
Dr.
Anyone?
Google will help. Dead by Daylight. New game set in Dead by Daylight universe is single player.
Yes, that one.
Let's see what it's called. The Casting of Frank Stone.
Thank you. I was gonna say like it's like Chronicles of something. Casting of Frank Stone. And the trailer went hard. It was a good fucking trailer.
Oh, that is actually look pretty cool. Oh, so it's sort of like a Telltale type game.
Yeah. That's the other thing I was trying to
Gotcha.
think of. I was trying to describe it. It was like,
Nice. Oh, it's scheduled for 2024.
mm-hmm. Oh shit, is it actually this year?
That's what it says. It's scheduled for release. I don't know if they pushed it back or not. This is an older article from last year. I don't know. Maybe it's on Steam. Pre-order now. Let's see.
Shit, I think it is. I'm pretty sure I have it on my wish list.
Casting of Frank. Yeah, it is. Casting of Frank Stone for September 3rd. Wow.
Oh shit, we have a date.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that does look pretty good.
I'm very excited for it. Are we there yet?
Yeah, the animations look really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like the facial features.
Just died in your arms tonight. Must have been something in.
Oh, baby, I love your way
Wait.
every day.
Sorry.
Yeah. What? Baby, I love your way by Big Mountain.
It sounded like you said wait.
Oh, no, I love your way.
Right.
Shadows grow so long before my eyes, and I'm moving across the page. Suddenly the day turns into night, far away from the city. Don't, oh no, hesitate, 'cause your love just won't wait. Hey, hey. Ooh, baby, I love your way. Can we play another game?
All the Gen Zers don't know the good tunes. Think about that for a second.
No, man, disco never does. I mean, Baby I Love Your Way isn't disco, but still. Disco era. Love Your Way. I'm gonna say
Although
it's
it
like
is a brat summer.
84.
It is a brat summer, though.
Oh shit, it's 75.
What?
It's older than I thought. Baby I Love Your Way was released in 75. I thought
In
it was
75?
I thought for sure it was like the early 80s.
I thought so as well.
Yeah. Shout out to Peter Frampton. Yeah. Uh,
We'll get into a game eventually, homie.
yeah.
We just gotta stay strong.
Yeah. Keep the faith.
We gotta keep the faith. We've done 2 games already and they've been so worth it.
Remember, stay in line. They cannot kick you out of line. Every kill matters.
Hi, Remy! Did you have a good walksy? Okay, bye.
Oh, when the world needed him most, he could not be bothered.
He came in, he said hi, and then he left. Remy is a roast beef fiend. This dog, we can't get him to eat shit. Yeah? Like anything. But we've discovered that he will go crazy for roast beef. I can finally get this dog to do tricks and everything again. It's great.
We're so back.
We're so back. All it took was me, like, stopping being a vegetarian. Oh, sick. Speaking of, Remy, you want some roast beef, you little roast beef freak? Come here. Jesus Christ.
Well, there he is.
Yeah, hold on.
Such a good boy.
Oh, we're in a game! Remy was the good
Oh!
charm! Come on, bud!
Remy!
Remy! The lad!
Remy!
We love this dog! He got us into a game! Good boy!
Remy!
Good boy!
I can't do the same message again.
That's my boy! Oh, someone just left the game. Petra, can they see our chat?
Oh! 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 Wait.
What happened?
I don't know. Can they see? Oh shit. Can you see my chat?
I can see your chat. I don't think they can.
Okay, hold on.
I don't think what is that name?
Yeah, hold on. Just a second.
Typical Russian. I don't think they can see our chat. What does their name mean?
Yeah, hold on. Let me see. I just want to get it off before. And then that. And then, blah, 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 blah.
I don't think they can see
Okay.
our chat.
Ah, I mistyped. No!
What does their name mean?
It's Stradivarius.
What?
It's literally like, it's not like a actual word. It's like, his nickname.
Right.
I don't know. Like, it's his actual username.
And then there was another one that was named Typical Russian.
I think Stradivarius is like some ancient Roman dude or something.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Roman name.
That sounds very Roman.
I asked him why his name was that. Oh wait, it's the name of a violin.
Oh, yeah!
But is that like, would that be the correct translation into Russian?
Let's do this.
It's damn close.
It's go time. I'm being a rat. I'm ratting.
All the traps shall be placed.
Oh, already got some.
Oh, someone by me.
They're all around the hut by the looks of it. Got one of them. One down. Oh, they're all running. Like, they're scattering like mice.
Nice.
Hello. I hit the Fangman next to me.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, her.
Yep, got her.
Go on, send her away. They've already gotten
To the cage with you.
over here.
People over here, yep. I'm gonna kick the jet.
Thank you. I'm zooming.
Wait, where the heck? I actually...
Oh, she has immunity, that's right. Thank you for pulling the pallet, my dude, I guess? Like...
Oh, I see. There you are.
I got one of them. Fuck! The Fangman has game. My dudes. Oh my god, there's so many of them over here! Dude. There are so many over here.
Get that gen start regressing. You're gonna flashlight me. I can literally hear you.
Whee! Zoom in. Zoom in. Do, 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 do. Zoom in. Zoom in.
Man, they are burning through these pallets, though.
Yeah, I'm breaking every single one I find. One. Oh, they're over here. Fangman coming towards you.
Coming. Yep. She's gonna hit the trap. Nice.
They're over here doing a gen.
Yep.
Hello, I don't believe we've met.
Oh, hello. It's a 3-course meal. You fool.
Hey. Nice. I mean, I will advance on you, my dear. Like... Girl, what are you doing over by the hut?
Oh, she still had endurance? Dang.
Oh my god. When do the windows get blocked?
What do you mean windows like the vaults?
Yep.
What do you mean by blocked?
Or it just got blocked for her.
Oh, oh, that might be a wraith perk.
No.
Where if you go
use them
through
too
it?
many times.
Oh, there might be a limit on it. Oh, where was that?
Oh,
They're
look.
all over here.
They're all over here as well. They're abusing the hut as like a lot.
Ah ha ha ha. You dum-dum.
This one's trying to lead me away from...
Oh, dude, I've hit someone in that exact trap like 4 times. That is hilarious.
Fangman run the other way.
Oh, here's Sable.
They really burned through these pallets.
Yeah, there's only a few left.
Hey, we got got the Fangman. One more left though.
I don't think any of the remaining gens are particularly close though.
Hi. How did that not hit her?
Oh, I see one. This.
Where did she fucking run to? Oh, wait a minute.
That one's not being worked on. That's not being worked on.
Hey, over here. There's a Fangman that just got off the hook.
Oh, yep. Running towards the outer wall.
Yeah. I'll go after the one that just got. Where the fuck?
To the cage with you.
Where'd the other one go?
I don't know. I see your scratches here. I'm following them.
I'll cut her off at the canyon pass.
She is running far.
So am I.
Oh, she's running to this gen all the way over here. Yep.
They're all over here.
Yep.
Hey, do you want to damage it?
Oh,
Fuck.
but I think they're all gonna die. Wow, there's a pallet there? Oh, hello.
I'll go to the other doors just in case. Unless there's many over there. How many? Oh, I see them running.
Yeah, I see them running too. Are they both on you?
Well, they're trying to get the dude unhooked.
Coming.
Well, I got one of them.
Yep, I can see the others. I can see the Sable.
I'm on the Sable.
Oh, I see the outer one. Just going for that gate. Oh, she's going
I
for him.
whiffed!
Oh, looks like one person will take it out. Let's see, what door was that? It had to have been the far one.
Yeah, I'm on my way.
Oh yeah, the glitch spot, that was an exit gate, because that's literally where the other exit gate is.
I got one of them. Yeah, they just...
I just closed the hatch.
I got another one.
Oh, one of them is by the exit. Yeah, the last one was at the exit waiting. Nice!
We did it.
I'll take one escape.
I'll take one, yeah. Based on this game mode, in 30 years it'll be 80 versus 20.
Oh my god. Crashing her computer.
Imagine. Oh, that'd be insane. Oh. That was good. That was so good. It's so satisfying when we do get into a game.
Yeah. The adrenaline of just like constantly being on the hunt with so many people to like be able to target.
Oh, it's so good. Oh. I think the key is me getting pastrami. So I'm gonna get some pastrami. On my click-clacky heels so I can break them in. I am making the sacrificial offering of roast beef.
Oh. I just got so hungry.
The offering has been made.
Remy, please work your magic.
Work your magic, baby. That's my good boy. You're a good boy. He saw me get pastrami out of the fridge and came running over with like hope in his eyes, and I was like, oh shit. So I grabbed some roast beef. You're a good boy. I see you looking at yourself in the mirror. You're so handsome. You're so handsome.
Oh, that picture you sent is so funny the other day.
Oh, of him staring in the mirror.
Having an existential crisis.
Yeah.
Why are we here? Just to suffer.
So funny. Chat, hold on. I'll grab the pictures. Here we go. So Remy had to be stuck in my room for a bit, and he started off with looking at the mirror on my door, and then later on, he was looking at the other mirror in my room, just staring at himself. He's a handsome boy, but yeah, he was one of those things. He was having a bit of a crisis.
Oh man. For my grandma, I raised last summer? No, 2 summers ago. I helped raise a puppy for her because she had been living alone for a few years at that point, and she needed someone in her life. Yeah. And that dog is the biggest scaredy cat. Like, if she ever goes up to a mirror, she'll run away instantly as soon as she sees herself. Either that, or she'll get, like, really aggressive, be like, what is this other dog?
Who are you?
Start, like, barking and try to, like, paw at the mirror.
Who are you?
Let me see if I have a picture.
Going toe for toe. Who's this dog and how are they able to go toe for toe? Let's see this. Most underrated Italian pasta.
Oh, that video looks so good. Showed up on my homepage.
I thought you were gonna show me your dog.
Oh no, I just sent you that. I just sent you that earlier. Because I was looking at the video and I was like, damn, I'm really hungry. Hold on, I'm trying to find the pictures. Oh yeah, here we go.
Oh my god.
Here we go. Here's one. And then here's...
Aww.
Here's another.
Oh, precious. It's a small yappy dog, isn't it? Yeah. That makes so much more sense now. It's always the small yappy ones that, like, don't understand mirrors. And then you get the big dogs who just admire themselves.
Yeah.
But to be fair, that's not, like, true of all, you know, dogs or whatever. There are some, you know, real silly ones. So far out of all the meat that I've had since ending my vegetarianism after 15 years, pastrami has been the one that's tasted the nicest.
Pastrami is very good.
Yeah. And the pastrami that I got was fresh from the butcher. Like, they had just pulled the thing out of the fridge and cut it fresh.
Yeah, like a pastrami sandwich with sourdough and, like, some pickle slices. Yeah. Some... Ooh, like some Swiss cheese, yep. Yeah.
I don't have any bread right now, so I've just been eating it out of the package.
I mean, that is fair enough. I would do the same thing. Don't judge a man by his pastrami eating habits.
Someone said I should try chorizo next because it's like spicy.
Oh, yes.
And I do like spicy. I love
Oh, yeah.
spicy.
Chorizo or barbacoa. Ooh,
Okay.
yeah.
It's really weird though now because like for 15 years I've had a very limited menu that I can order from because on top of that I'm gluten intolerant, right? And
Mm.
suddenly now like every menu is so much more is much bigger
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
because I can eat meat, and it's very very jarring like to a degree. Because of course before I'm like, oh yeah, so all of these options are out, so I can only order from like this tiny section, right? Because I
Yeah.
would eat fish, so there were, a few options, but like finding anything that has the cross section of being pescatarian and gluten free is just a very small list, right? It is so small, but
Yeah.
now suddenly the menu is massive because I have all these options, and it's like this is insane.
Do you have any good Mexican places near you?
No, not near
Oh,
me.
that's a bummer.
The last place I tried, there was this vegan place, right? That claimed to do Tex-Mex nachos, and it was the most
Oh, it was
insulting
an
thing.
insult.
It was the most
Yeah.
insulting thing ever. I got food poisoning on top of it.
Oh no.
I nearly called them and said, "What the hell is this? Who is cooking this? Have they actually been
Yeah.
to Texas?" It was just nachos with sriracha on them.
Our Tex-Mex chef is fucking
Yeah, he liked the
Vladislav
idea.
from Poland.
He liked the idea of Texas and made these.
The idea of Texas. Texas is an idea.
Like,
Remember the
sure,
Alamo.
fine, yeah. Texas is an idea. Like, I understand the
Uh,
sriracha part of it. I can kind of see where the inspiration was there, but oh my god. It was just. Oh. We're gonna get this game, and it's gonna be a win.
yeah. Only dubs.
Only dubs. Only dubs.
You should try, if you ever get a chance, you should try birria tacos with consomme. It's like a deep fried taco.
The frying part might be a bit, depending on what the taco shell is made out of.
Yeah, but then you dip it in the consomme, and it's like
I have been
it's
slowly
not like
poisoning myself, though.
it's not like super deep fried, but often they'll like fry the outside with cheese or something, so it's like super crispy,
Mm.
and then you dip it in the consomme, and it like softens it up.
Ooh.
It's so good.
I have been slowly poisoning myself. It's been a slow process, but I can eat spelt somewhat sparingly.
Oh yeah, I think you said that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I noticed when I try to eat an entire loaf of it, my like side of my face was like breaking out in like a
Mm,
rash. So I think I've got to like introduce it sort of more intermittently instead of going ham right out the gate.
hmm
But like the fact that I can eat spelt without, vomiting is a step in the right direction. We like that. There's hope.
True. Rebellions are built on hope.
I'd love to be able to eat a Butterfingers.
Ooh, a Butterfinger.
I haven't had a Butterfingers in almost a
Damn.
decade, in over a decade, I think. Like, think about that for a second. It's been a decade since I've tasted what a
That's
Butterfingers is like.
tragic. An American tragedy.
My dream is to be able to eat to have a German pretzel, even if I'm still gluten intolerant.
Ooh, with beer cheese?
Yes, like a
Yes.
proper German pretzel during
Oh,
Oktoberfest.
yes.
I would
Yes, yes, yes.
happily fucking die in the hotel room
The last thing you eat.
The last thing I eat while I vomit for like 2 days straight. Was it worth it? Yes.
Yes. What did it cost you? Everything.
My stomach lining. No gluten-free pretzels? Mate, have you ever tried gluten-free? Like, do you think during Germany, like in Germany, proper Oktoberfest, with the pretzels coming out, with the beer and the girlies and the cheese and the dips and everything.
I think your German citizenship gets revoked if you're gluten tolerant.
Well, the Italians figured it out.
This is true.
They aced their gluten-free like flour so that they could have pasta, but like I've never heard of like a proper, actually tasty gluten-free German pretzel.
Pretzel, yeah. It's not the same.
Yeah. Like, think about that a second. I haven't had a custard-filled donut in lifetime. Like, it feels like it ages. Did you ever ask? Nowhere, I genuinely have looked this up. I could not find anywhere that did, like, you know, Oktoberfest level pretzels.
Okay, maybe controversial opinion, but I'm not actually a big fan of like custard Boston cream
That's
donut.
disturbed. I had to go gluten-free vegan for 6 months for health issues, and it was okay, but not great. Found stuff went better when not attempting to imitate, instead focus on the ingredients. Yes. This has been my life, mind you, for the past, like, decade and a half. So I'm fully aware, right? But, like, the gluten intolerance is the one that is a brick wall for me. I really, really want to be able to eat normal fucking food. But yeah, I'm also horribly anemic, for anyone wondering why I've stopped being a vegetarian. Yeah, I've basically hit a point where I'm noticing that my health as I get older, it's becoming harder and harder for me to continue to be a pescatarian. And I would just like more options, you know?
Yeah, I'm not super anemic, but I'm like just anemic enough to the point where I can't donate blood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I've tried multiple times, and every time they're like, "Yeah, you're just too anemic. Take some iron supplements or something." I'm like, "But, but I don't want to." I'm not gonna have like a 12-ounce steak before I go donate blood either.
Yeah, literally. There's so much stuff like in my cookbook collection that I can make now as well. That's crazy. Like, I keep thinking about it as well, and it's like all my cookbooks suddenly I have more possibilities.
Yeah, or even just having like gluten-free pasta with some
Bro, we're so back.
Gluten
It was so
Bros.
dope. Food bros, we're so back. Oh my gosh, ready up.
Dude, and everyone's insta ready.
Yeah, what the heck?
I didn't even look at their names, but who cares? Any Rooskies? Any Brewskis with the Rooskies?
We're so back. Suffocation pit. Okay. Macmillan Estate.
7:42 a.m. on a Tuesday. The gang gets 8 survivors killed.
I'm on one.
Nice. I'm just laying down some traps.
She's already putting down pallets. Girl, what are you doing? Be so for real right now.
I feel like sometimes kicking the gens is more important than chasing right away.
She wasn't on a gen. Close. Got one.
Oh, you got him. Here, you go the other way. Yeah. Nice.
I didn't even have to
It was just the threat.
Whoa, how are they getting this stuff done so fast? Oh shit, Slay.
They may have... Oh yeah, we can't see the rolls. They may have like a bunch of gen repairing people. Very possible.
Slay. Why are you cleansing, my dudes? What is this cleansing in the day of our Lord? Ah, fuck, I whiffed. Ah, fuck it. I'm ignoring that dude. I'm going back to gens. Thank you for giving me stuff to break, girly.
I see you over there.
Ah, shit. There's a girl that's hurt over by the shack, but they're going crazy over it. Oh, hello, Michaela.
Okay. Nice.
Girl, what the hell?
Ah, still got on it.
Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. Do, 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 do. Oh, hello, Jen. Oh, it's this dude again. I'm gonna need some help with him. Fuck him.
No, there was a pallet right there.
I mean, yes, use all of your battery, my dear. They're quick with the flashlights.
Yeah, I mean, getting a flashlight from a chest is actually pretty shitty, because you can't killer stun and has to drop, like, the person.
Got one of them. They have one gen left already.
Yeah. They're doing pretty well. Oh, nice.
Nice, Slay. Slay,
Oh,
okay.
someone's over here.
I see some running around. Oh, it's Michaela again.
What? I can't get through there. Nice.
E-girl. Just seen her name.
Huh?
Oh, they got
Oh no!
it. They're all alive!
Oh, nice. He walked right into a trap, though.
Hi!
I'm gonna go trap up one of the dudes.
Yeah, would be wise.
Oh damn, they already opened it. What the heck?
What the hell?
Impressive.
We might have lost this one, homie. We might have been outplayed. Yeah, some of them are already escaping.
1-1 at the moment. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No!
It's the gate that I'm near. How many do you see?
Nice. Wait, how did I not? What the heck? I literally hit him and he didn't go down. That's baloney.
How many are near you?
There's one. Where'd he go,
I'm on the
though?
way to the other one.
Wait, actually,
Oh, they got that
where'd
gate
he
open
go?
as well.
Huh? How did he juke me like that? I'm actually so confused.
Both gates. Hi. Oh, Michaela got past me. Just go. Oh, 6.
Oh, I see one. He's running to the gate, but I don't think we're gonna get it in time.
Is he not gonna get there in time?
No, I don't think I'm gonna get there in time. Yeah, I made
Oh,
it.
yeah, you got it.
Oh, he went to go to the other gate, the unopened gate. Oh, he's probably gonna open it. He just popped the trap in front of it. There he is. Ah, he made it out. Bummer. Damn, I don't know how that Dwight juked me.
That Dwight was insane. I'm not joking. That Dwight was genuinely.
Yeah, I like.
His,
Somehow I lost him completely. I saw where he went. He just
the
disappeared.
Steve was like
oh,
level
Steve level
100.
100.
What the
Prestige
hell?
100. Jeez.
What the fuck?
Jeez. Okay, guys.
Okay.
Pop off, King.
Fair enough. And
You know what it must have been? We were doing so well that they put us against the best players in the game.
you're so right. We're just too good. We're too good.
Yep.
Now, we could queue for another 20 minutes.
Want to do some survivors?
No. I mean, I want to play more. And that should bring us just to time, honestly.
That
hey,
is
Shike.
true.
Welcome to Queue Simulator. Where it's not a simulation,
squad.
we are in a queue.
Welcome to talk about random shit while we wait 15 minutes. Oh.
What's the weirdest
Is that
thing?
a little tequila?
Ooh, tequila. Tequila would be nice.
Tequila.
Tequila. Just as many plays at the end of this queue as usual ones you stream. True. Wow, 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 wow. Game. What were we talking about last time? Oh, food. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're talking about tacos.
Yeah.
I do have some spaghetti. I could make some like buttered spaghetti.
Yeah, you could chop up some
I haven't.
Is all you have pastrami?
Like cold cut pastrami. I only have a little bit left. I could make some brown butter pasta.
Ooh, if you get like a chicken breast, you could brown the chicken breast, like sear it in the pan.
Chicken.
You don't like chicken?
As a kid, I could not stand it, and I just it was one of those things. It was one of the few things that I absolutely just did not like.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Hated it.
You could get some bacon. A bit of
I
bacon, chop it up,
guess.
fry it in the pan, get all that good bacon grease, and then saute like the
I
onions and
should
the
open up
mushrooms in
my
it.
my Instagram. I have like so many saved like food things. I have like a food section.
Do you also follow Donut Daddy?
No, who the fuck is Donut Daddy?
He's I assume he has an Instagram account, but he has a YouTube account as well. That he makes different like pastries and stuff. And he posts their videos. Hold on, let me send it to you.
Last time I tried to make cacio e pepe, it was a disaster. There was way too much pepper. Like the amount of pepper that they had me use was way too much, and it was insane. What is this? Grilled chicken pesto pockets. Ugh. Japanese curry cheese rice balls.
Oh, see, like he can teach you how to make homemade churros.
Really? I've always wanted to know what a
Yeah.
churro tasted like, but I can't eat them because gluten free.
Wait, are these his only videos? Oh, he doesn't post very often. Oh, because I think most of the stuff he does is shorts. Yeah, that's what this stuff is.
Like a pasta. Caramelized onion pasta. I've actually made this. It was really fucking good. It uses like 500 milliliters of heavy cream. It's really delicious though. Didn't I put this
I'll
in my
butter,
cookbook? Hold on.
I'll butter your croissant.
Sorry?
Yeah, look. I just sent it to you.
I'll butter your croissant, Donut Daddy. Video unavailable.
Huh? What do you mean video unavailable?
It says video unavailable.
What? It's available for me.
Maybe I can't view it picture in picture. I probably shouldn't watch this while on stream. Yeah, I have made caramelized onion pasta because I made it and I added it to my personal cookbook and I added a little picture of it as well.
Oh, nice. I made earlier this week. I made a muffalata. It was my first time making it. It's an Italian sandwich, but uh it's really popular in New Orleans for whatever reason too. And
Okay.
it's like a giant round Italian roll that you slice in half, and then
Slay. Okay.
you you coat it in olive oil on the other side, and then you broil it to get it like a little crispy on the outside, but still soft on the inside.
Okay.
And then you put a bunch of like a random assortment. You can mix and match what you prefer, but like a bunch of deli meats. So like you could do pastrami or salami or like smoked ham and stuff like that, whatever you want
Okay.
on one side. And then you put a bunch of cheese on the other side. Like you could do Swiss,
Sounds like a toasty.
Havarti, provolone, and then in the middle, and then you put that in the broiler and bake it. And then in the middle, you make like an olive dressing or sort of a salad. It's like chopped olives, sweet peppers, red onion, uh, capers,
Okay.
and like a little bit of red wine vinegar and some mustard and stuff. And that's like the spread. And then when you're done out of the oven, you put that in between both and then cut it up and it's a sandwich. And it was so good.
Hmm.
Definitely not the
Interesting.
healthiest thing, but yeah.
Yeah. I think what I'll do tonight, because I do have some pasta I should probably use up. I'll chop up an onion I have on hand. Saute it a bit, throw some butter in the pan. Brown it a bit, throw the pasta in, toss it up, and all that. Then probably just eat
Caramelized
it like
onions are
that.
so good.
Oh, I do have I have a strip of salmon that I have in the freezer that I haven't used as well. Oh, hey, hey. I
Ew.
don't know what I should do for dressing. Maybe I could do like some honey and some soy sauce. These two things do not match.
Honey and soy sauce? No, that
No,
can
no,
actually
no,
go
no, no.
pretty
I mean
well.
the salmon with the dressing and the caramel spaghetti,
Uh,
the onion spaghetti.
you could do it on the side. You could just have them separate.
True. I could also like cook the salmon and then just mash it up into the pasta, like
Oh, but that would
shredded.
kind of like ruin the salmon.
Did you murder that salmon yourself again? I did, and stuck it in my freezer. Not actually.
What did that salmon ever do to you?
It looked at me funny.
Murdered my family.
You don't understand. My wife died to a fishbone. Do you think we're gonna get in this game?
Eventually.
Do you think?
Will we get in it in 30 minutes? I don't know.
Chat, what do you think? Do you think this is happening? Fermented hot honey butter sounds so good.
Mm. Oh, I kind of feel like pecan pancakes all of a sudden.
Pecan pancakes. Okay, slay.
Yeah.
Ooh, if I
Maybe
get
like
a
a little bit of
leek.
cinnamon in the batter.
Ooh,
Ooh.
if I get a leek, lemon pepper salmon with leeks.
Ooh, that does sound good.
Crunchy lemon pepper breadcrumbs. Ooh, okay. Well, that's lemon pepper yogurt. I don't think I have all of that on hand.
Lemon pepper yogurt?
To dip it in, I guess.
Oh.
Lemon ricotta pasta with pistachio breadcrumbs.
Ooh. That does sound good.
Recipe by an actual Italian man. What do we think?
Not a delusional cosplayer from New York.
No. It sounds kind of good, not gonna lie.
It does
Let's
sound
see.
really good.
Spaghetti, olive oil, onion, garlic. Lemon pepper seasoning, the lamb brand. Sorry? Ricotta cheese, Parmesan
Lamb
cheese.
brand.
Yeah, what does that mean? Juice of 1 lemon, baby spinach, pasta water, salt and pepper to taste, some pistachios, lamb brand again.
Must be a good brand.
Crispy Japanese style panko breadcrumbs, lamb brand. What does that mean?
I just googled lamb brand pistachios and literally nothing came up. What are these people talking about?
Is this like an Italian thing?
Is
3
that a
cloves of
cooking
garlic, red
technique? The
chili.
lamb brand. Gesundheit.
Pardon me. Pumpkin and sausage pasta. I'm noticing I have a lot of pasta recipes. A lot of other stuff as well, but... Summer corn risotto.
Pasta's good.
Oh, listen to this. Summer corn risotto. Oh, there's not a list of what's in it.
I'm listening.
Okay, they're cutting the corn off the cob. They put the corn cobs into some sort of stock.
Oh, okay.
And they put some of the corn, after frying it up a little bit, into the blender with some of that stock, and they're blending it into a cream. Onions are now going into the pan with some butter, and now they're putting the risotto into that. And then I think they're using the stock that they made with the corn cobs earlier and some like vegetable or beef stock or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe
to make the risotto, and now the corn's going back in. The corn that they didn't use, and now they've put some cheese on top.
Yeah, some Parmesan, I assume.
Yeah, it looks like Parmesan. Chives, more sweet corn, some lemon zest, and some crispy prosciutto on top.
Ooh, the crispy prosciutto. That's a good touch. What did they do with the corn again?
Good.
Did they just...
So they cut it off the cob.
But did they do anything after that? Did they saute it?
They were sauteing the corn in the pan, and then some of the corn came out in like a little spoon, and they put it in a little blender.
Ah, and added that to the...
They did a little... Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
It looks really good. I'm gonna get a link to it. I'll show you it.
Let's see here.
I might actually look up there. Oh! Corn!
Oh!
Corn!
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 This one goes out to all my boys back in Iowa.
When do the beans go on the toast? Excuse you.
Ooh, that does look really good.
You do realize you're on a British channel and you just at the beans on toast. We will get in trouble.
And?
Give me Ghostface, please.
Look, I don't make the world, I just describe it, okay? I don't need no beans on that toast.
Dwight! It's always a Dwight! Okay, we're gaming. You ready, homie? It's our time to fucking shine.
One last ride.
One last
My
ride.
last day on the force.
Don't say that! Shit!
Both gonna die. I've seen this movie too many times.
Oh, fuck!
I was one day away from retirement.
No! Oh, shit.
Did you know that they're making a Beverly Hills Cop 4?
What?
Yeah. 40 years after Beverly Hills Cop 3.
No
Beverly Hills Cop 3
way.
came out in the 1980s. And they're making a Beverly Hills Cop 4.
Oh shit, Coben Farm, let's fucking Joe.
Oh, please tell me we get the giant blue square in the middle.
Oh my god, if only. I'm zooming, like a little invisible rat. I am zooming. I hit one of them. One of them's running to the house injured.
Oh yeah, I see.
Hi. One in the cage already, baby. Where did this one go? Down. Hi, Dwight. They just tried to do the locker bullshit with me. Isn't Beverly Hills Cop 4 out already as a Netflix thing, apparently?
Is it?
Apparently.
Wait, did it already release?
Hi. Oh no, whatever will we do? Oh god, oh fuck.
Nice.
I love it when they burn through pallets, truthfully.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just chase them around a little bit. Just a little bit. Hi!
Oh, I got it. Nice.
Hi! I feel like I'm hitting a lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of them are injured.
Yes! Thank you!
Nice.
Thanks. So many of them are
No
injured.
way.
Oh no.
Oh my god. Alright, fuck her.
We should honestly just work together a little bit more, I feel like that's where we
Yeah,
flourish.
maybe. That's some more traps.
I'll come to you. There's someone bleeding over here.
Yeah, I couldn't catch her. You might be able to get her with your invis speed boost, though.
Do. There are definitely people in the house.
There are people over by me, too. Oh my god, they only have one gen left. These people are crazy.
There are a lot of hurt ones over here by the house.
Got one.
Got another. I see a few.
Nice.
I'll send her away. The hut.
Nice.
There's two over by the hut. With a nearly done gen. Breaking the pallet. One of them's probably gonna try and finish that gen.
Where is it?
By the hut.
Oh, that one all the way over there. Yeah, I'm keeping watch of all the other ones.
I don't want to chase this dude that much. Like, he's really annoying. Can I come hang out with you?
Yeah. Nice.
How did we miss that?
Here, I'll go over by the...
The hut?
Yeah. I just saw someone go over there. Yeah, they're really trying to finish it and kick it again.
Cool thing is that when I... Oh, hello. They did it.
No! Alright, time to trap up the exit gates. Oh, I see people over here.
Woo! Oh god. They're so organized.
They are really organized.
They got the doors open already.
Is that the one that's open? No, that's so sad that they're already here. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Ah, and someone's gonna open that exit one all the way over there. Shoot! Are they really all gonna make it out?
I think so, yeah.
Damn!
That was rough!
Rip.
It was still a good game.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for playing this with me. I know it was a lot of waiting, but the killer games were honestly the most fun of this. Okay.
We had good food chat.
We had good food chat. Yes, we did. Chat, thank you so much for hanging out with me for Saturday Spookums and Petrock, of course. We are gonna send you over to who in the Yogscast is live right now. Let's see. Looks like Pedguin. Oh, is Lollip live as well? Lollip? Someone type out her channel name. It's my side list is not loading all the way. It's probably why I didn't see her. Oh, Nightjar, thank you! My hero. I appreciate that very much. Thank you, homies. You can find me over at twitch.tv/Mousie. I will... yeah, I'll be here next weekend for Saturday Spookums as well. Again, playing more stuff. But you can find me playing a whole variety of things over on my own channel a few days a week. So be sure to stop by for that, yeah? Cool. Thank you. Have a great evening and say hi to Lollip for me. Bye-bye.
Bye.